Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, back for another retro review. And this time, going to be talking about Fist of the North Star 1986 movie, which was brought here in America in 1991 and dubbed by Streamline Pictures. Since this is technically retro, I usually do anime reviews on my Doug8798 channel, but since this is technically retro, gonna do it here. And because I just love this movie so much, I love the Fist of the North Star 1986 film. It got me interested in Fist of the North Star, and it was just epic. The plot is that in the near future, man has finally destroyed its world, and the world entered a new age. A new post-apocalyptic age where the strong praise over the weak. One man, Kenshiro, who is the inheritor of a violent art called Hakuto Senken, is a wandering traveler who protects villagers from various biker gangs and groups. Kenshiro is on a quest to find his lover, Julia, who was taken from him by his former friend and rival, Shin, who practices a rival style called Nanto Senken. Kenshiro on his journey meets Lin, a mute, a little girl who is a mute after watching her family get burned alive, and Bat, a desert bandit. Kenshiro on his quest meets several friends and enemies. Each enemy being stronger than the last. First, he saves Lin from a biker named Zed. Then he encounters Ray, who of course is also looking for the Fist of the North Star, but is actually Jagi, Kenshiro's brother, who framed Kenshiro for several crimes, and took his name as the Fist of the North Star. Kenshiro, of course, settles things with his brother Jagi. Then he settles things with Shin, his former friend who took his woman Julia away. Then finally, he settles it with Ryle, the Conqueror, who is the last major antagonist of the original manga. This movie adapts pretty much the whole first part of the manga, but takes several liberties with the source material. Characters such as Heart, Jackal, and the big guy who transforms himself into metal from the Fuma clan, a wolf-like clan, are all here in different roles. And characters such as Yuza and Toki are nowhere to be seen in this film. A lot of other characters are missing too. The only thing I don't like about this movie is that for a first-time viewer, the story is kind of confusing. But this movie, from start to finish, was entertaining. The battle sequences were awesome. The opening fight between Kenshiro and Shin was awesome. Both of them jumped in the air, hit each other at the same time with the kick. Then Kenshiro got all beat up, and then Shin used pressure points to convince Yuria to leave Kenshiro and go with him. I love the more expanded role for Kenshiro's brother Jagi. In the manga and anime, Jagi is Kenshiro's older brother, and after Kenshiro becomes the inheritor of Hakuto Senken, Jagi attacks Kenshiro. Kenshiro beats him up but spares his life, only damaging his face, causing Jagi to hate Kenshiro and resent him even more. Jagi becomes a biker gang leader and ruler of the wastelands, and then takes Kenshiro's name, the Fist of the North Star, and commits several heinous acts in his name. That's what he does in the manga and anime. In the movie, he does all of that, but he also is the one to convince Shin to turn on Yuria. No, he did that too in the show. He also kidnapped Ray's blind sister, and he also threw Kenshiro off the cliff after Shin injured Kenshiro. So I love the much larger role for the character Jagi. Then I love the last two fights, Rei versus Rao. You really felt sorry for Rei, knowing that he might die when confronting the much more powerful Rao the Conqueror. Rei attacked Rao with everything he got, and then it was just awesome with the music, Heart of Madness playing in the background, and Kenshiro walking slowly to the battlefield. Then he comes there with Rei's bloody corpse in Rao's hands. Then the ultimate battle between Kenshiro and Rao begins. Dragon Ball Z totally ripped this off. You see these guys charging energy attacks, floating in the air, punching. All it's just awesome. Except in this series, it was so much emotion. Then the end, when both of them, then the fight ends in a stalemate when Lin comes out of nowhere to convince Rao, to spare Kenshiro's life, to convince Rao that Lin convinced Rao that they are the people who will bring peace and bring hope to the world. Such an awesome, poetic film, and one of my favorite anime films. It's hugely addictive and ridiculously entertaining. Another cool scene was a really funny and scary scene. One of the major characters named Heart comes out of nowhere, out of the wall, to fight Kenshiro, and it was just scary how he just randomly came out of the wall, and then Kenshiro kills him with a kick combo, causing him to laugh and then burst into flames. It was just awesome. But this movie is also very violent. The television series had to cut out a lot of the violence, but it's back here in the movie, and the character designs are reminiscent of the or more reminiscent of the manga, despite being different in several scenes from the manga. All right, the Super Vader out.